Welcome to Level 1 Reddit, where we give you your daily Reddit fix. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss what's popular and trending in Reddit. We're going to start with this first story today, guys, with Harry Truman. Just a little background on Harry Truman. He was the 33rd President of the United States from 1945 to 1953, succeeding upon the death of Franklin D. Roosevelt after serving as vice president. So he was FDR's vice president, and when FDR died, Harry Truman became the 33rd president right there. So what they have right now trending is this, and I guess it's been reposted plenty of times as usual from Reddit. Today I learned that Harry Truman refused corporate money after his presidency because he didn't want to diminish the honor of the office. For a while, his income was his $112.56 Army pension. Truman took out a personal loan from a Missouri bank shortly after leaving office, and then found a lucrative book deal for his memoirs. For the memoirs, Truman received a flat payment of $670,000 and had to pay 2/3 of that in tax. Ouch. He calculated he got $37,000 out of that book deal after he paid his assistants. The former president told Majority Leader John McCormack in 1957, and quote, "Had it not been for the fact that I was able to sell some property that my brother, sister, and I inherited from our mother, I would practically be on relief." Cut right there. I'm guessing relief is food stamps. Continuing. "But with the sale of the property, I am not financially embarrassed," end quote. The following year, Congress passed the Former President's Act offering $25,000 yearly pension to each former president, and it is likely Truman's financial status played a role in the law's enactment. Wow. To me, that's freaking crazy, man. Let's go read some of the comments here. Such is life. One day you're dropping atomic bombs, the next you're eating bottom shelf cereal. We've all been there. Second comment, I miss having guys like this in charge. Third comment, the idea that someone should enter politics for personal gain is an inherently flawed idea. Totally agree with you there. Fourth comment, I like when his term was over, he just got on the train and went home to Missouri as a regular citizen. Just a guy on the train. Fifth comment, toured a home in Independence, Missouri. Very simple. The linoleum in the kitchen split and Truman tacked it back down. It didn't quite stretch enough and left a gap bordered by black tacks. I'm going to make sure to visit that house sometime in Missouri. I'm going to put that up on my bucket list. I didn't even know they have that. I've been to Missouri, but I had no idea that Truman was from there. So I'm going to go check that out. But this guy right here is the OG, man. I mean, can you imagine being a president and just earning $112.56 at one point in your life? Man, that's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Talk about crazy. To get this one article. Came out a few days ago, and it says, the fastest growing black hole devours about one sun every day. And the story was from ZME Science, and also CNET had it. I'm just going to give you guys the gist of it because it's a long article. The article goes something like this. The yawning void, known as J2157, eats stars like ours for breakfast. Perhaps every breakfast. The fastest growing black hole known to human is astonishingly large, and apparently very, very hungry. The black hole's mass is about 8,000 times bigger than the black hole in the center of the Milky Way. To localize it even further, the yawning void, again known as J2157, is 34 billion times the mass of our sun and consumes the equivalent of one sun each day. Fortunately for us, the behemoth of a black hole is billions of light years away, which also means the researchers are seeing it when the universe was very young. You know, so here's the thing. I'm going to read it again. This black hole is 34 billion times the mass of our sun and consumes. I'm going to stop right there. 34 billion times the mass of our sun. I want to know who the fuck calculates that. I mean, how do you even begin calculating that? 34 billion times the mass. I'm having a hard time multiplying 34 times 12. I have to get my calculator just to multiply 35 by 12 or 12 times 13 or whatever. 34 billion times the mass of our sun, and this thing consumes it. It consumes the sun each day. Not only that, but it's also billions of light years away, and yet they can see it. I mean, that's almost like seeing into the past, into the future, right? I mean, my brain can't even comprehend thinking about that, guys. Some of the comments here. I know we can't even comprehend the scale of this, but it still blows my mind. And we are seeing an old version of it. That's true, because by the time we actually see it, that happened billions of light years ago, I guess. Second comment, anyone want to do the math about this exponential growth and when it will devour us? I like this next comment right here. Wouldn't that just top 2020 if we were devoured by a black hole? And the last comment that I chose to read, because I love this movie. I watched Interstellar last weekend for the first time since seeing it in the cinema. During the part where they enter the black hole, and I remember explaining to my wife why black holes are terrifying because how massive they are. This reaffirms my beliefs. If you guys haven't seen Interstellar, go watch it. It's a great movie, it's a long movie, but if you watch that movie, you gotta have an open mind. A lot of that movie is based on science, and I'm not saying it's all true, it's not a documentary. I mean, it's science, you know. It's as far as like Jurassic Park, I think Interstellar is more of a science movie. I don't want to say science fiction because it is a science fiction, but it's more of a science movie than Jurassic Park is. Interstellar is a good movie, so just watch it. We're gonna go ahead and skip. This one, I'm gonna try to read this one without crying because this one really kind of got to me a lot. Okay, it goes something like this. A father designs a headstone for his wheelchair-bound son, depicting him, quote, free of his earthly burdens. This is Matthew Stanford Robinson. Due to a lack of oxygen during birth, Matthew had many disabilities. He was blind, mostly paralyzed, and could only say a few words. Matthew was expected to live only hours after birth, but managed to spend 10 and a half years with his friends and family. That's all what the article says. So there's the graveyard right there. Not the graveyard, but there's the headstone right there. And it's very powerful. Very, very powerful. I've never seen a headstone like that before. And I was reading, looks like Matthew Stanford Robinson died. From where I can read that there, February 21st, looks like it's 1999 or 1996. I can't quite read it. But it looks like he died in the late 90s. Some of the comments here, and the comments are really kind of what kind of got to me. This just gave me chills. My brother was wheelchair bound, never walked or talked, never progressed past the mental age or abilities of a 6-month-old baby. He wasn't expected to live past the age of 5, then 10, then 20, and just died a few years ago at the age of 37 after a 2-year decline in health. He would look at you, recognize you, laugh, and vocalize. He would try to hold your hand if you offered it to him. Until he got sick, he was the happiest person I have ever met. Never mean, never hateful, never hurt a single person in his life. And I feel this post heavily. Second one, heartbroken. No parent should ever need this statue. Third comment, that's beautiful. Good to see his death as ascendancy, not just a dark spot of loss. And this last comment, I'm gonna read to you guys. Really kind of got to me, so hopefully I can read it with a straight voice. It says, made me think of a comment I read here, which I saved in my notes and I still read from time to time. Quote, my only brother, older by 2 years, was terminally ill with Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. I got a call from my mother and she only needed to say 3 words to me. It's your brother. I threw some clothes on, sped to their house. He was clearly on his way out. I gathered myself, laid with him, and did my best to comfort him. As he began to slip away, my brother and my best friend, who had been wheelchair-bound since he was 8 years old, said to me the most beautiful and haunting words I will ever hear. I'm running so fast. Guys, I don't know what happens to us when we die. I know Keanu Reeves says when we die, the people who loves us will miss us, which is 100% true. I'm a big fan of science, but I'm also a big fan of religion. I'm a God-fearing man. I actually almost became a priest, if you guys can believe that. And one thing I learned about science is that energy can only be transferred. Like, it goes from one form of energy to another. And if a person's energy, when we're alive, is there, where does that energy go? Because by rule of science, the energy goes somewhere. And I think that's where this spiritual belief in me, somehow I believe that we go somewhere when we die. I don't want to think that when we die, it's just plain darkness. We just go off like a DVD movie that you just turn off, like a TV you just turn off and just complete pitch black. I don't want to think about it that way. I really don't. And you know what? I don't believe that's what will happen to us when we die. I do believe in heaven and hell. I think 99% of us will make it to heaven. I know you guys probably think that's a big number, but I believe in forgiveness. You know, there's some people out here that are just completely animals and don't belong on earth, and I think that's the 1% that goes to hell. But I'm a big believer of heaven and hell, and I was a big believer of forgiveness. You know, when my grandma died, she was talking to some of the people that she's never. My mom says she haven't heard since she was a kid. Those were her friends from when she was little, and she was talking to them right before she passed away. And I think that's my grandma's friends and family, their souls talking to my grandma saying, hey, it's okay, come over here. And I think that's what happens when we die. We find the ones that we love the most, that we've missed because they've been gone for a while, waiting for us on the other side. And for that last comment, the way that boy was able to say, I'm running so fast, that's what he loves the most. He likes to run. And unfortunately, he was in a wheelchair his entire life. So I think that's what happens when we die. We see the people that we miss the most, and we do the things that we love the most when we die. And I think that's God's gift to us. So I think we're gonna end the show right there, guys. I don't want to get too emotional here. Guys, thank you so much for watching Level 1 Reddit. Please subscribe if you like this content. New videos are out every day, well, Monday through Friday, starting at 5 a.m. So until I come up with a better slogan, I'm gonna stick with "You are beautiful." I'll see you guys back here again tomorrow morning. Bye bye.